Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's tool talk is going to be about a cheap and effective way to label some packouts. So if you're a person who uses a label maker and likes to label all your organizers and things like that, sometimes it's hard to label some of these just because there's not really a good spot to put something like this. So I'm going to show you a cheap and effective way using some PEX tubing. And again, you could use blue, red, white, whatever it is that you want to use. You could even probably spray paint it a color if you wanted to. And again, this is a tool talk, so don't take what I'm going to show you today as, hey, everybody needs to be labeling their packouts this way. It's like I've come up with the best idea ever. In fact, this idea isn't even original with me. One of my buddies on a job site started doing it with some PVC pipe, and I kind of got the idea from him, but I thought it was a pretty good idea, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. And again, it's a tool talk. So even if you see something that I'm showing you today, if you see that there's a better way that I could do it, make sure and comment that down below. Or there might be some other way altogether that some of us don't know about. Make sure and drop that down as well. That's the idea with the tool talks. It's a place where we can have a discussion in the comment section about whatever the video is about and get the best ideas, the best products, whatever it is, so that we can make the best decision. And the idea came because, again, with several of these, it's not a problem, it's not an issue. Like this compact organizer right here, you got this big flat spot right here on the front. That would be very easy, to put a label on it if you wanted to and have that on there. This one's one of the rare ones where you've got this big spot just glaring you in the face. In fact, I've even bought some things on Etsy, though, that I really like. Had a video for that's like a little snap-on deal, 3D printed. I've got a bunch of these in my truck that say different things. This one's trim nails. I've got one for, wire nuts, also wall anchors, things like that. So this slim profile organizer, whether it's this one or the, wider version of it, you've got this handle right here that kind of gives you a good spot in order to put something on there that says, hey, this is what's inside of this. So this one, what I'm going to show you today, doesn't work on this one in particular. This half organizer, that's the regular depth right here. This is one of those situations, this is what I'm talking about. So if I had a label printed like this right here, this is my Bosch laser label that I'm going to put on this one here in just a minute. I can't put it here because all these ridges are going to make it to where this doesn't stick. There's not really a good place anywhere on here unless I fold this handle up. I could put it on this handle right here. Just like the other organizer, there's also some flat spots down here that I could probably put a label right here on this side, split the difference, whatever it is I want to do. But whenever I'm storing this, if I put that handle down in that position, no matter what that is, I'm not going to be able to see what's in there. So I'm kind of back at the same place right here. So what I'm going to do in this video, using some PEX tubing, 1/2-inch PEX tubing, I'm going to take advantage of these two little nubs right here to give me a spot to put my labels on. So I'll show you that again here in just a minute with my M18 router. And it's very much the same exact thing using this full length profile of the same depth. You get a little bit more spots. This is the one I'm actually going to be putting this Bosch laser label on. If you can look inside of here, let me get it unhooked. Again, it's hard for me to get all this in the picture and my screen. So this is where I keep my Bosch 3-plane laser, all the accessories that go along with it, the line reader, all those kinds of things. I can put a label over here on this side. So I do that with a label maker. Just print a label, put it on there. And then I always cover all my labels with shipping tape because it helps. Sometimes those labels, they don't stick real well. At least mine don't. You might have a better label maker than me. But ultimately, from this front view, I could kind of move this maybe to here, do the same thing, both sides. But you get into that same situation where there's really not a good spot, except for, again, this handle right here or these two spots here. You shut that handle, you're not going to be able to see those. So I'm going to show you by putting what I'm going to do on this one here in just a minute. But the last one would also be your deep organizer. So this is that one that's really deep. It has all those deeper little sections. This one's my door install box, everything that I would use to install a door. But there's plenty of places on this one. You could do what I'm going to show you on this one if you really wanted to. I've got these same two nubs right here, but there's plenty of flat spots. You've got one here. You've also got several right here. All these labels, there's plenty of spots to put labels on this deep one. So I'm not going to mess with what I'm going to do on this, but you could do what I'm going to show you on this one if you wanted them all to match. And again, I still put one down the side right here as well. So what I'm going to use is some 1/2-inch PEX. This is red here. They sell it in blue, they sell it in red, they sell it in white. And again, you could probably spray paint it black if you want to, or green, or whatever colors you want to, or maybe you want to swap it up for your blue organizers. Maybe do some blue ones for some plumbing, some red for electrical fittings or something like that, just to even give you that color and a label on top of it. So again, I'm just going to take my piece of PEX. You want to cut it to length. For this organizer right here, it ends up being somewhere between 4 and 9/16, somewhere around in that area. Now, if you go with a half organizer, it gets a little smaller, but basically measure your handle from this flat spot to this flat spot, cut you a piece, see if it's going to fit in there like that. That fits in there pretty snug. Now, you've got these little nubs. These will fit right inside of this 1/2-inch PEX, but you can't really get this in there, or at least I couldn't anyways, by, you know, trying to flex it, because once you get to this small of a piece, it's not going to bend real well. So that's where you're going to want to use a heat gun or a torch if you've got one. You just might need to be a little bit more careful with the torch. And we're going to basically turn this on. This is the Metabo. I've got it on 1,004 degrees, and I'm just going to put it in there like so and just kind of get it heated up. Once you have it heated up enough that it kind of becomes pliable to where you can kind of get a smiley face out of it. Let's see if I prop this up under here, if that helps any for the... Then you just want to bend it into place. And again, you might have to keep heating it up a little bit more. I might not have it enough yet until you can get it past that little point. Then once you get it in there, while it's still kind of hot, you can bend it straight. And then once that temperature kind of changes back, that's what you're going to end up being left with. And I first thought whenever I saw this, I was like, I bet that's going to get in the way of me being able to stick my thumb in there, but it doesn't at all. So now I've got this flat spot right here. And again, once that cools down, as long as you keep it straight, that's what you're going to be left with. And again, so now I'm going to take my label. So again, I got one here, Bosch laser. Get it centered as well as I can. And get it put on there. Kind of make sure and try to don't get any air bubbles. Smooth that out. And because I cut this a little bit tight, it was harder to get in, but this one doesn't spin as much. It will still spin around in a circle like that. So you might get in your truck at some point in time if this has been turned some to where you can't see it. So you can decide for yourself. You could either put a label on the other side of it as well, or me, that doesn't bother me. If I get in here and it's like this, I'll just take my thumb and spin it up and see what it is, and that would make it to where I could still see it. So now again, my laser or my label maker isn't the best in the world, so I never just leave mine like this. They end up peeling back off, so I'll take some shipping tape, peel me off some of that. And I basically just start with this tape. I go right up at the top. I want to make sure I cover this label on all 4 sides enough that I'm getting good contact with this shipping tape, because this just sticks a lot better than my labels does. So again, I'm going to go right there and smooth it out, and then I'm just going to start spinning this. And as I spin it, that tape is going to come in contact with that PEX and stick. And then I'm also getting around the outside edge of that label so that it doesn't end up peeling up on me over time. So this might be the one tip that you get out of anything. If you like to stick your labels on stuff and you're heating your truck and all that stuff makes them peel off, or you get dirt behind them, you know, this shipping tape to me works really well. And I'm just going to keep rolling that until I get all the way around or get rid of the tape. Doesn't even matter to me if it doubles up. And again, if you've got really good label maker, mine's just one of those Dymos, just a cheap one. I don't use one that's cost me a ton of money or anything. You could probably get by with not even doing this step. But now you can see I've got my Bosch laser on here. Easy to see, doesn't matter. You know, if I lift my handle up, I can even kind of still see that from the top. In fact, since I cut this so tight, this one actually moves with my handle and kind of spins back down. But my handle's not cut, so if I put it on here and lifted that down, I wouldn't be able to see it. So again, I'm going around and labeling all mine. Here's my older boxes. I did the same thing on these a long time ago. I've been putting labels with the shipping tape covering them up. But again, here is a deep organizer. I didn't do it on this handle because I don't feel the need to. I kind of got this in the same spot as what it is on my other ones for my door install. This is that box. I get over here to electrical. Here's another compact organizer. Again, I didn't fit this one as tight. You can see I got a little bit of room. That one spins a lot easier. So the tighter that you fit it, the less that it spins. And again, I got the same labeling over here. Here's the M18 router on that half size organizer. This one's a little bit harder to get in because this is a smaller area, so that PEX doesn't want to flex as much. You just got to end up heating it up quite a bit more in order to get that to fit on top of there. You got to heat it up a little bit longer, those kinds of things. But then the question might be, well, what about that latch mechanism? Because if I open this up and you look in there, you can see I'm kind of putting it right in front of it. Does it affect the performance of it at all? You can see I can lock this in place, and then I can still take my fingers, lift up, slide it in and out. It doesn't get in the way whatsoever. And again, this is just a cheap, easy way for someone who already has a label maker. You're finding a hard place to put labels on your packouts, and you don't have a 3D printer. You don't want to pay shipping for 3D printed accessories, all those kinds of things. I by far am not saying that this is the best way. I would say my recommendation is to cut it a little bit tight and see if you can get it to fit in there. If this is going to bug you, because I think that that's going to probably bug me, I might end up having to redo some of these. But again, it doesn't bother me 100%, because if I get into my truck and it looks like that, all I got to do is take my thumb and go like this, and now I know that's my M18 router. But again, guys, drop it down in the comments below what you think about this. Also, is there something that I could do better to make this easier? Something along the lines of that. Or if you've got a total different idea altogether. Again, that's the idea behind these tool talks. We get the comment section going. We get the best answers that way. The more people we get involved in getting the right answer, the better our answer is going to be. So let me know in the comments below what you think about it. Hope this video is helpful and useful. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. See you on the next video.